Hello and welcome to my designer commentary video. Today we'll be talking about my E4 Easting TV ident. For those who don't know, E4 is a channel that features popular comedies such as The Big Bang Theory and New Girl. Their target audience are both genders between the ages of 14 and 25, as the channel features comedies that cater for both genders and all the different ages. In between shows and during advert breaks, they feature short comical idents which they refer to as Eastings. They're short 10-second bits of animation that can feature anything from drumming men to birds doing their business on actual people. Each year, they hold a competition where members of the public can submit their idents in hope that theirs wins and gets shown on TV. The winner also gets a nice cash prize of about £5,000. Now, I say that there can be anything in them, but they do have to follow a set of rules to even be considered. Some of these include that they have to use one of E4's sound for the background, it must be suitable for pre-watershed viewing, which means that it must not contain material that is inappropriate for audiences that might be watching before 9 PM, and it must contain the E4 logo, and have some purple in it as it is their signature colour. We had to follow a strict style sheet, as we would if we were an agency making something for them. One of these rules were about the colours. Purple and black must be specific down to their exact RGB colour codes. If there is any variation in these colours, then they won't accept them as a product. The same goes for the logo. The way the E and the 4 sit must not be altered in any way. The font must also be ITC American typewriter for any sort of brand identity for E4. With the amount of pages there are in the style guide, I could go on for days. So grab a coffee and get comfy. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Lol.
For this task, we were allowed to use live action footage, but it had to contain animation in it too. Since, as we can see here,
The look on your face when I'm stripped to my waist, and the gleam in your eye when I show you my thighs says you love me. Whoa.
Eastings are meant to be very random. I used the first idea that came into my head. For some reason, this was a DJ performing a song to an audience. Doesn't sound too random, except for the fact the DJ and part of the audience are cows. Purple cows. The initial idea for this was to be a theatre with cows and humans sitting in rows of seats. After some more thinking, and some time trying to find a theatre or green screen, I decided that a field would be better suited for my idea of my ident. Since cows naturally graze in fields, I thought they would be more fitting if they started DJing in their field. My ident consists of the hand-animated and hand-drawn cows and my sister jumping up and down in a field, later to be accompanied by the cows. To be fair, the clip of my sister is pretty entertaining on its own. To start with, I created the cows. I did this in Illustrator using the pen tool. I started out by making the body before going on to details such as the spots. I used the pen tool as I've had quite a bit of past experience with it and enjoy using it. I made it in Illustrator so it would be a vector image, meaning that I'd be able to scale it up to any size without it losing quality. For the DJ cow, I made his arms and head separate so I could easily animate them in After Effects. Initially, I tried using the puppet pin tool to move its head, but I could never get it to work. Making the DJ decks was the simple process of creating 3 different rectangles and some circles for the speakers. For the speakers, I made one circle with a radial gradient, which would be the speaker cone, and then put a grey circle above it and lowered the opacity. These were also created separately so I could easily animate them. The live action footage of my sister was filmed at a park down my road in 1080p and 25fps, as that is what they use for British TV broadcasting, also known as phase alternating line, or PAL for short. I did very little editing for this clip as I felt like it was alright as it was shot. All the shots except one were static shots, meaning that tracking the characters on was not needed. For the end scene where the camera is zooming out, I didn't use the conventional motion tracking method as I did not know how to use it. Instead, I simply keyframed the character by changing its scale and position to match its position on the film clip. Now let's have a look at my actual finished ident.
E4. E4.
From watching the end product, I am very pleased with the product that I have made. It was my first time ever doing animation or ever using After Effects, so I feel my skills have progressed quite far since when I started the unit. This also gave me an opportunity to boost my Illustrator skills much further. Thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed.